Hello, hi, I am Olivia and this is Profits and wow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. And I always forget to ask, but can you please like, subscribe and comment on this video? It does make a difference to know what you are thinking and what matters to you. Today I'm going to talk about tenderpreneurs. Tenderpreneurs is a term that is being used for business people who get tenders from government and the private sector. So there's a lot of negativity when you hear the word tenderpreneur. You think of corruption, you think of BEE. There's no positive thing when it comes to tenderpreneurs. But in actual fact, tenderpreneurs get into trouble because, first of all, the ones that do make it to the news did not do the job that they were paying for. And in many cases, they were paid millions for. Mostly, you as a tenderpreneur, you get into trouble because your finances are not in order. You need to understand what it means when you get a tender. That money, first of all, it's not yours. It should be obvious that it's not your money, but it needs to be said. The money that you get when your tender application has been successful is not yours. You are supposed to buy products and or deliver a service. And most often, you need people to deliver the service or to manufacture or produce the product that you want to sell. So at the heart of all your problems as a tenderpreneur is a lack of knowing how to manage your money. Do you know how to manage your money? Or if you think that you know, that is why you are in trouble. That's why I am here. People like me, bookkeepers, accountants, people who record all your transactions. And let me just clear up a misperception or misconception, whatever the word is, about bookkeepers and when you hear the word record your transactions. I am not here to bring you into trouble. I am not here to expose you to SARS. What a bookkeeper is there for is to assist you so that your business can be tax compliant, so your tax affairs can be in order. Do you know why big business, why they actually get accountants? It's not to make a profit. No, it's nice to make a profit, but it is so that they cannot get into trouble with the taxman. We in South Africa, we have been spoiled for many, many years. We were not tax compliant. We didn't file taxes, we didn't pay taxes, and it was okay. Until about from 2021. What SARS did, they woke up to the fact that South Africans are not tax compliant. And they came with the full force of the Tax Administration Act. And now, also they discovered that there are people right in this wonderful country of ours who are running businesses and they don't even have tax numbers. So what SARS did, even if you have never submitted tax in your whole entire life, they automatically registered you on their database. So SARS is no longer waiting for you to register as a taxpayer. They automatically allocated a number to you. And how does SARS do that? And for those who are not informed, SARS is a South African revenue service. How is it possible for SARS to register a tax number for you without you knowing? Well, SARS is linked to Home Affairs, is linked to CIPC, is linked to your bank account. So they used all the powers they have now in order to find out who is tax compliant and who's not. And here is how you invite, or actually how you are begging for SARS to take an interest in you when you are a tenderpreneur. You go onto Instagram and you post with your very beautiful car, and you post in the very expensive restaurant in your designer clothes, and you pose in front of the house that you just bought with the money that you got for the tender. And SARS is taking note. And also for the older people, because now it seems as if Facebook afoul is for older people. The older ones, they go on Facebook and they tell the world, look at me, I've got a new car, I've got a new house, and I've got new clothes, and I'm eating expensive food, and I'm drinking expensive wine. Am I not the cutest? No, you're not. Because SARS have people who are dedicated to look, to scout on social media, to see who is posing there, and if what you are showing on social media does not add up to what you are filing on your tax returns, SARS comes and say, hello, we must audit you. And when they audit you and they find that you have been getting, as a tenderpreneur, you got a contract for 4 years worth 300 million, and you never filed taxes, then SARS wants every cent from you. And this is where I come in. But before I explain what my role is in your business, let me say what my experience is. South African businesses, black businesses specifically, because you are the ones I am dealing with most of the time, all of the time. South African black businesses, many of them, you don't have a bookkeeper. You don't keep any records of what you spend. You don't even have a spreadsheet. So you have no clue, absolutely no clue on where your money is going and what you're spending it on. You don't know. Because you think the party begins when you get that money, when you get the tender. You think the party starts. Wow. The party, actually, for you, the party ends when you get that money, because that money comes with responsibility. And finding a bookkeeper like me is never a priority. You know, I know for a fact, many of the entrepreneurs, when they come to me, you are in trouble. You didn't pay your taxes, and now SARS is knocking on your door. Now you need a bookkeeper. You need funding, and because you want to expand, and now you need a bookkeeper. Or you want the tender, and they say to you, part of you to get the tender, you must show us that your tax affairs are in order. And then you come looking for me, and then you don't want to pay me. And do you realize that I am the one who can put systems in place for you? Not only will you make money better, spend it better, spend it wisely, grow your business, you will also be tax compliant. So that instead, when SARS comes knocking on your door, you don't have to run around like a mad person. You can just say, I'm sorted. But you know why you are panicking when SARS comes to you? It's because when you start your business and you get tender, a bookkeeper is not your priority. And actually, you should make it your priority. So let me explain where I fit in as a bookkeeper / accountant. Whatever service you want to call me, it comes down to the same thing. Now you have the tender, right? And the beauty of a tender, you don't need a specific education. You don't, whether you are educated or not educated, as long as you have the right pricing, your documents are in order, now you get the tender. Party time, yay! You celebrate because now you are rich. Hey, you're the man, you're the woman. Now you need to buy another car. You need to do A, B, C, and D. Forgetting that money, like I said earlier, it's not yours. So what would be the first thing to do, right? You don't have a bookkeeper. You don't have a bookkeeper. You have no sense of how to run a business. You don't understand debit and credit. Those are boring terms that we use because it's my job to use it and my job to know it. You heard about balance sheets and profits and loss and cash flow statements, and what the hell does it mean? Because you just want to spend and spend your money. Then 2 years later, you find you owe SARS a crap load of money and you don't have it. And SARS doesn't want to hear it. Right. So how do you prevent yourself from falling into that mess? Number one, when you get your bookkeeper, when you get that tender, actually, when you start applying for the tender before you even have it, reach out and look for a competent bookkeeper, right? When I say competent bookkeeper, it's someone who knows what they are doing. Someone, and here's another thing. Today you get accounting software. It's online. You need to get your username and password for the accounting software so that when you have a question for your bookkeeper, you don't have to wait until tomorrow 9 a.m. when your bookkeeper is at the office, then only you can call. No. So number one, you get a bookkeeper. You reach out, you say, listen, I have just applied for a tender. I've submitted my RFQ, a tender. You've submitted all the documents. I don't have it yet. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but will you be available to do my books for me? That is my request. And don't be a cheapskate. There we are. You're not going to pay a bookkeeper 500 rand per month. Let me just stop right there. Right? So now you've reached out. Now you're waiting. And lo and behold, you are the lucky person to get the tender. Before you get all excited, speak to your bookkeeper. You need a bookkeeper with a personality. Someone who can rein you in and say, Chief, Sisi, you are spending too much money, and who's not afraid of you or intimidated by you because now you are the man or the woman with all this money. You need someone who doesn't give a damn about how much money you make, but you must pay that person accordingly for the value they give to you. That is what I do. I don't care whether you are a multi-millionaire 10 times over. There are certain things that you must know and that you must do for your business to grow. And that again comes back to what I offer. So now you get your tender. You are wise enough to reach out to a bookkeeper before you get your tender. Now you have your tender. You've got all this money in your account. You go crazy, and we all know, if you've never had money before and suddenly you get a lump sum, money has an energy of its own. If you don't rein it in, if that sounds crazy, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Money has an energy of its own. If you suddenly have a lot of money, that money will run away with you. You will become bonkers. You will start buying stuff and doing things that's so out of character that when you look back, you'll say, hey, Wena, was that really me? That is what money does. So before the money comes, you must know what you are going to do and who is going to help you with it. You need 2 bookkeepers. You need an in-house one and one you outsource. And the 2 must not know each other. Why is that important? Your in-house bookkeeper do the monthly day-to-day transactions. Your bookkeeper that you outsource, the one that doesn't work for you, you only pay her for the service. That's the kind of service I deliver. I don't want to come and work for you. I am providing a service to you. So I am not your employee, I'm the service provider. So you need someone like me, an outsourced bookkeeper, who is there in a consultant capacity, an advisory capacity, who can set up the systems for you, and then your month, your daily, the bookkeeper in your office who does the daily bookkeeping, she knows how to assist, she knows what to do, and then she transfers it to me, so that you can see what is going on in your books and you have 2 different opinions. Now you have your bookkeepers. What difference does it make? Because you've got all this money, you don't need a bookkeeper. You don't need help because you've got money. You're rich. Well, you're not going to stay rich very long if you don't know how to manage that money. So what I do, what I offer, right? Remember, normally with tenders, you are not alone, right? You have people working for you. Those people, their salaries, they need to be made. Wena. You cannot have a multi-million tender and then you want to pay people out of your back pocket. That's being cheap and it's undermining. And you are calling trouble to you because let me tell you, you can mess with everything of people. Don't mess with their family and don't mess with their money. Because if you take people for a ride when it comes to their money, you are creating unnecessary enemies. Not because it's out of your control, but because you are too cheap and you are too inconsiderate to consider the people who are working for you, who make it possible for you so that you can get another tender when you are alive. What does payroll involve? Let me explain and break it down for you. With payroll, it's not as straightforward as it may sound. With payroll, you have 2 basic deductions, UIF and pay as you earn. Pay as you earn is the tax that the employer holds back from the employee. And that money gets paid over to SARS together with the UIF. So this is how the process works. Your employer earns a salary. Of the salary, then what must be paid? UIF and pay as you earn. That gets paid over to SARS. How do you know how much must go to SARS? Hello, again, the bookkeeper does that. There is an amount that you must make provision for. What that means, if you have 5 employees, okay, and each employee earns 8,000 rand, that's the gross of what they are earning, right? You must make provision for 8,000 rand. Then when you deduct UIF and pay as you earn, that amount must then be paid over to SARS physically. The money must be taken out of your account and paid into SARS account. Where does that money come from? Right. That money comes from you, the employer, the boss, the tenderpreneur. So you must have 40,000 rand in your account if they get paid monthly, 8,000 rand per month. Then those 5 employees you must make sure there's 40,000 rand in your account to pay them, right? But they're not getting the whole 8,000 rand. They're getting the 8,000 rand, 40,000 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 minus tax, minus UIF. That amount that you minus from it gets paid to SARS. Do you think, as a tenderpreneur running your business, you would have time for all of that? And this is every single month. UIF must be paid over every month. Pay as you earn must be paid over every month to SARS. It must be recorded on your books, and it must then be sent to SARS and UIF. Do you still think that you can do that? And remember, the pay as you earn, you must pay. That is the tax that your workers are liable for based on what they earn. Do you know the UIF calculation? Do you know the pay as you earn calculation? Because those are amounts, it's not being thumbsucked. It is being calculated according to the tax tables provided by SARS. It's very specific calculations. And how do you pay them? You must set up the system where automatic a certain time of the month you just boop, 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 and then the money goes into your employees' accounts. That's a whole process that must be set up. It does not happen automatically. And tenderpreneurs get into trouble because you don't take care of the people who work for you. Remember, the person who works for you has a family at home. They also want to go and make loans. They want to invest. They want to buy cars. They must pay school fees. And that money comes from you because you became an employer the moment you become a tenderpreneur. And you need to take care of those employees. They're not doing you a favor by working for you. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. So for you to have peace of mind, because I can tell you, you do not want to mess with a person when it comes to their money. You do not want to be in the way of a desperate person because you didn't pay them and their things fell apart and their lives are in shambles because you did not pay them the salary that they work for. That's why you get your bookkeeper, so that you can have a proper payroll system, so that you have records, UIF has records, and SARS have their records. So that's payroll. Let's look at your tax. You know what is irritating? And I've spoken about this many times before. You have 12 months. Your financial year is 12 months. Every 12 months, you must submit your tax return to SARS. Why do you think SARS needs that? So that they can see how much you make and how much you owe them. Nobody likes paying taxes. I don't get it as well. But that's why I say that's where a competent bookkeeper comes in. When you get money, right? If you got 300 million, right? You spend 200 million on yourself. Oh, it's such a wonderful thing to be spending this money. On your books, you were paid 300 million was paid to the company. Because you need a company when you are a tenderpreneur, you need a registered company. So now SARS sees on your books 300 million was, you got 300 million. In the first year, you spend 200 million. You got 300 million. So now you say, no, I just swipe for entertainment and what, and wow. When it comes to meals and entertainment, it becomes so technical to get a tax refund. So you will pay, and maybe you minus your salaries for the year, you will pay a huge amount of tax. So, but a competent bookkeeper will help you to structure your affairs in such a way that you can legally pay less tax. Let me say that again. A competent bookkeeper / accountant accountant can structure your money in such a way that you can legally pay less tax. How is this even possible? How do you pay less tax when you own a business? The South African Revenue Service rewards you for creating employment, which is known as owning a business, right? You have in a business, you have income and you have expenses. Then you have the other one, drawings, where you just draw money from the company. You are going to pay tax on your drawings. Let me say that to you. The company will be taxed for the drawings that you took out. But what happens when you have a competent bookkeeper? What happens? First of all, we will look at your expenses, right? Things like, what did you buy for the business? New computers, new laptops. Do you know that in the first year, when you buy a new laptop, it is the equipment, it's a 50% write-off. That means if you paid, maybe say you bought 5 laptops and they were 20,000 rand. In the first year, you spend 100,000. What will be tax deductible? You will get a tax break of 50%. So 50,000 of that money, SARS will write off. That's 50,000 rand less tax. Why is that? Because you bought equipment for the business. When you buy a car in the business name, you get a huge amount, a huge write-off in the first year. Equipment, your car, then let's look at your wear and tear. You know, when you buy, like say you have a computer, then, or not wear and tear, depreciation. When the value of something drops, SARS allows you depreciation is an expense. They understand. You bought the laptop for 20,000. You're not going to sell it for 20,000 unless, of course, you're totally unrealistic and expect this. So, depreciation, wear and tear, salaries, it's part of your expenses. So let me just break this up again. You have your expenses, okay? Then you have your write-offs that comes as tax deductible. Not all of your expenses are tax deductible, but when you took your money from the business and you bought equipment for the business, there's a write-off. A write-off means you pay less tax. Let's look at your expenses. You know, things like stationery, petrol, fuel, the maintenance of your car. All of those things SARS takes into consideration and you end up paying less tax. How are you going to get SARS to get to pay less tax to SARS? How does that even work? That's why I say you need a competent bookkeeper or an accountant who knows what she's doing, unless you have the time to go, because this information is on SARS website. Unless you have the time to go to SARS website and go through all that information, you are free to do that. Or you can get a bookkeeper who can do that on your behalf. So that is how it's possible for you, when you have a bookkeeper, to pay less tax, because certain tax calculations, it's there on the SARS website on how you can calculate certain, like for equipment, for your motor vehicles, for stuff that you buy, to pay less tax from SARS, right? How do you structure your expenses? So when you increase your expenses, you decrease your profit. You spend more money, your profit becomes less, and SARS taxes you on your profits. But not just on your profit, they take into consideration how much money did you take? Did you use to buy things for the business? So get someone who knows how these things work. And then you can pay tax with an open heart and even get a tax refund. Don't you wonder how people manage to get tax refunds and you pay every year you have to pay so much to SARS? It's because people know how to structure their things legally. It's not the same as understating your income. Oh my goodness. Tenderpreneurs, people are going to jail now for understating their income. That means if you made 5 million and you tell SARS I only made 1 million and you lie to SARS, they don't take kindly to that anymore. Let's talk about that. You see how I sigh when it comes to it. You tenderpreneurs and many South African businesses, you think you can just register for that. I want you to go and Google people who went to jail for that. Most of the cases, most of the people who were arrested and went to jail for tax-related fraud, it was because of that. That is the one thing that will get you in so much trouble if you don't do it properly. So how it works, you will register for that. And just an aside note, before you could register for that online, now SARS wants you to go in person to their offices with their right documentation, and you can't just go. You must book an appointment, and then once on the day of the booking, you must go to their offices with all your documentation to go and register for that. It's not being done online because SARS says you guys are too big of crooks. SARS says that there are too many crooks in South Africa in terms of, not their words, but mine. But basically, they say because of the crooks in South Africa, they can no longer accept online applications for VAT registration. You have to go in person. So how does it work with that? You apply for that. Now and there are certain weird questions you have to answer. So now you apply for that. You get your VAT number. Then you can choose that must be submitted every 2 months. Let me say that again. That must be submitted every 2 months. How do you submit that if you don't have a bookkeeper? How do you do that? You can't. Unless you have a spreadsheet, you can't. Even with a spreadsheet, it becomes a slip. So what your bookkeeper does, you are then a VAT registered business. All your receipts, all your slips must be captured. The VAT amounts, the input and the VAT output must be captured correctly every month. Don't wait until a day before you have to submit. Then you want to gather all the information it's going to cost. So the correct procedure, every month, every week, all your transactions as they come in, the slips must be recorded. What does recorded mean? It means it must be scanned. The amount must be written, whether it's a VAT input or VAT output. That must be done. Those slips must be scanned and saved to the system. Do you think if you have 200 slips that you want to do that the day before VAT is due? So scan it, save it, the slips, the receipts. It must be either VAT input or VAT output. This must be done every every single time, or maybe once a week, once a day, depending on the amount of slips. But I would recommend that as a transaction happens, if you have 5 slips for today, you record those 5 slips. Then on the second month, you submit it to SARS. It does not end there. And this is where many people get in trouble. Submit means that all those transactions that you have recorded, it gets uploaded to the SARS website on the system. And it doesn't end there. Then those amounts must be paid to SARS. Don't wait until the end of the year when it's this big fat amount. Pay it every month. Rather be ahead, but not too much. Not too much. Rather be ahead maybe with 2 months or 3 months, but not too much. Right? Because sometimes it's a schlep to get a refund from SARS because you don't have the right documentation. Right? So that's the VAT process. You record input, output. From there, those numbers get sent to SARS every second month. And then the amounts get paid over to SARS the same time. That's the whole VAT process. I find people who think that because VAT only gets submitted every 2 months, it's not a problem. That's so easy. It's just every 2 months. No, it's not. Because every transaction that you do, because as a VAT vendor, you do with another VAT vendor, it must be recorded properly. Because you will either pay money to SARS or SARS will pay money to you. Most people, many people think, oh, let me register for VAT so I can get money from SARS. No. SARS gives you money when you spend more money than what you were paid. That is when you get money back from SARS in terms of VAT. If you spend more money, if you pay more money and you spend less, you're not going to get money from SARS. Because the reason you get a refund is because SARS rewards you that you spend more, but you made less. Right? I hope I got that right. But in any case, so can you see with that how important it is to get your affairs in order, and that it's not a by-the-way thing. The same with tax. Please, man, asseblief, you cannot come now when you are in a mess and SARS, you got the penalty letter. Now you want to rush your things. Tax, in order to be right with SARS, you need to do it right from the beginning. When you are a tenderpreneur, the moment you get your tender, please get a bookkeeper to manage your tax affairs, to manage your monthly bookkeeping, to manage your VAT, to manage your payroll. This is a whole industry and service on its own, and you need to pay for it. Don't think that when you come to me, and I'll say it again and I will say it before, don't think that when you come to me and you ask for payroll, you ask for monthly bookkeeping, for VAT, that you're going to pay me 2,000 Rand a month. It's not going to happen. You need to be realistic and you need to understand the value of the service delivered to you. What is the value to you as a tenderpreneur when you get a bookkeeper? First of all, your things will be structured properly. Your money you will see the flow of your money. You will know how much you must pay SARS even before you submit. You would know more or less what to expect. Your workers will be taken care of in terms of UIF, so that when the tender comes to an end, they can go and claim UIF because you took care of them. You won't have to have sleepless nights because you don't know what the hell is going on with your money affairs. You know, to have a lot of money, hey, it's so wonderful. I tell you, to have a lot of money, it's one of the best feelings in the world. It frees your mind. But you know what imprisons you, what stresses you out? When you have a lot of money, it can always it. Because yes, what I've noticed, your priorities as tenderpreneurs, the money is not your problem, it's your priorities are not right. You would brag that you spend, 50,000 rand on a bottle of whiskey? But when it comes to paying the people who deliver a service to you, when it comes to paying the people who work for you, when it comes to compensating those who are part of your business, then suddenly you are, I am just a struggling I'm just a struggling woman, I'm just a struggling man. No, what you are is cheap. If you want to grow, if you want real growth, if you want real wealth, if you truly want to succeed as a businessman, you need to align yourself with the right people. And one of those right people is a competent bookkeeper. Having the right bookkeeper can make all the difference. Why do you think big businesses get big tax cuts? Do you think it's because they cook their books? Hell yeah, some of them cook the books. But they not just that, because they know people, they employ people, they pay people to manage their funds, their revenue, their money in such a way that they pay taxes. If this is the profit and the revenue is this big, then the taxes is this big and this small. Not because they are crooks, no, it's they know how to make use of the advantages that the taxmen give to you. So you are now in a position where you have all this money flowing in your life. Drinking expensive champagne, that's your right. You must enjoy your money. Buying very nice clothes, driving a very nice car, buying expensive furniture, living in an expensive house. But I need to ask you, at what cost does it come to you? Do you want SARS or the MPA to come and knock on your door because you didn't deliver the service that you said? You didn't know, you couldn't file your tax returns because you had no idea what was going on. Don't you want to sleep nicely at night? Don't you want to enjoy your money, knowing that your money affairs is in order? That if you wake up in the middle of the night, or hang on, if your neighbor who doesn't like you because you are flaunting your good fortune in their face, if they go and call SARS and say, hey, my neighbor, I think you must come and investigate because they are showing off and I don't know where they get the money. Don't you want, when SARS calls you, or when you get that you have been audited, you have been chosen for verification, or you have been chosen to be audited, don't you want to be able to open your books and say, this is what I've been doing, because you got the right person in your corner, your books are done right. Hey man, you know how nice it is to be free of not having to worry about the authorities coming to knock on your door because your money is sorted out. I will end off with this. It doesn't matter whether you made 5 million, 500 million, 50 million, half a billion. That's not, for me, that's irrelevant. What does matter is that I do a job that is well, that I do a proper job that I'm proud of, that it will paint you a picture of your company. But what is important as well is that you must compensate me for the service and the work that I'm doing. Don't give me stuff. I don't need stuff. Give me the money that I'm asking that you pay. And just to give you more or less an idea, of what my fees are. If you say you had a tender, you received a tender in your account and you didn't do the books, right? You didn't. That is 12 months that your books were not done. Say your turnover was 100 million for the year. How many transactions have you done? Then I am going to charge you a percentage of that turnover. Because I'm not going, remember, to fix your mess. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. And it's going to require my skills and my knowledge. It's not just about scanning slips, putting numbers in the right place. It's about knowing where those numbers go. Because if your bookkeeper gets the numbers wrong, if they get the categories wrong, hey, you are going to pay tax that you're not supposed to be paying. So that's why when you pay me, I deliver premium services, not small fry. I don't want a client who comes to me and the first thing you tell me is, I haven't been making money, then you can't afford me. When you come to me, they know that you are already special because I only deliver a premium service to premium clients, to people who understand the value of money. I deliver a premium service to people who have a vision for their business. But if you need advice and you need help, because sometimes you start a business, you don't have money. But if you need basic advice, I will give you advice, but I will not do it for you. I will guide you on what systems you need to put in place, what software you can use for now while you don't have a bookkeeper. But don't come to me if you just start out because you can't afford my services. You don't have the money to pay me. But if you are making a lot of money and you want to come to me and you want to shortchange me, also don't come. Don't come. I am not in that space where I would have to beg you to pay me for the service I've done. I am not in that space where I would have to convince you of my worth as a bookkeeper. I only want clients who understand and value their money, who need help to get their tax affairs in order, who also understand the value that I bring to the business, and who are able to see the difference that from the day I start working on your books up until a certain amount of time, you must be able to see the difference from before I came and while I came. Like I said, I deliver premium service, and my work speaks for themselves, and I don't take any client lightly. When I see your books, I don't just see numbers. I see your hopes, your dreams, your vision, the life of your family. I see your house. I see everything that you dream of. It's hidden and written in those numbers. And that is always in the back of my mind when I work on the books of my clients. So if you are a tenderpreneur right now and you need help with your books and you are serious and you have a vision and you want to grow and you want to become wealthy and stay wealthy, then you can give me a call. I thank you for watching this video, and I hope to be hearing from you very, very soon. Because, money is an empowering thing, but you need to control it. Otherwise, it will run away from you like a naughty child. And to have the knowledge and the skills to help a business transform from a struggling business to a prosperous, growing, tax-compliant business. That is what we do. Bookkeeping is just one part of it, because with bookkeeping, you need advice. So I am an advocate advisory. I offer advisory services as well because I want to see your business grow and I want to see your business succeed. And I want you to understand the power of what you have in your hands when you run your business as a tenderpreneur. And not just that, you need to understand how you, as a tenderpreneur, are changing the lives of those people who are working for you. Let's get things right for you. Let's put things where they should be. And I deliver a premium service to premium clients. And I hope that you are one of those premium clients. I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I am Olivia, and I am a bookkeeper / accountant. So get in touch with me for all your bookkeeping needs and accounting needs. You might be surprised where the journey might take you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.